What is going on, everybody? It is Frank the Tank, and welcome to week number 33 of this Friday League. My God, 33 weeks. Can you believe? Well, 34 because we still have sweepers next week, but because that technically doesn't really count for anything, this week would technically be the last week of competition because sweepers is just like for fun, I guess, or a chance for you to earn some extra money or something. I don't really know how to explain sweepers. I mean, a lot of you out there, I think you know what that is anyway, so I don't feel the need to explain it. But yeah, 33 weeks, including next week, and then it's finally done. Man, what a grind! It's been insane, and I figured that since this is the final 2 weeks of league, um, I figure for the heck of it, why not do live commentary for this weekend for next week? It just feels right. I wouldn't want to like go out that way, with just putting up two videos with no commentary on it. And I know a lot of you guys have been missing the live commentary, even though I said what I said and I stood by what I said. I wasn't going to change my mind about it. So, but yeah, for these 2 weeks, I'm going to do it just, for old time's sake. So, I don't really have anything else to say right now, so we're gonna just go ahead and roll the clip and see how we did for week number 33. All right, you guys, so here we go with week number 33, and I did make some slight changes, as you can see by the arsenal. I didn't pack the Trend 2 like I have been the past couple weeks. I decided to add in the IQ Tornado Pearl. This time I have it drilled a little differently. I had another one stashed, and this one is drilled 60 by 4 by 30. I figured I'd try it out because, this is the last competitive week of League. I figured why the heck not? Again, for the heck of it, I decided to do that. And usually I'm against punching up a bowling ball and then using it for the like right out of the box. You know what I mean? But I have heard plenty, and I have seen plenty of posts like on Instagram and Facebook where people drill a brand new ball like and then fresh off the press they use it in league and they shoot a high series or they bowl a 300 game with it. So I figured, what the heck, let's just make it happen. So that's what I did. I threw like a couple shots in the 10 minutes of practice with the IQ Tornado Pearl. So I thought, what the heck, and I did get some pretty good shots with the IQ Tornado Pearl. So I figure we'll start off with that. And especially because it's not a strong ball, so I figured it'd be a good one to start with. I mean, the IQ is a perfect ball for league anyway. So there I went on the right lane, and already we have a fantastic shot. And I can't, would you believe, I can't believe I'm already going to say this, but I feel like that was my best shot out of the entire thing, which is kind of embarrassing. But hey, got off to a great start. And for that, I think you guys saw that on screen there. I lined up on 420, and yeah, everything about that shot was great. The form, the finish at the foul line, all of it. It was great. I mean, the ball hit the pocket real great, blew up all the pins. So I thought, I'm lined up, I'm locked in, and I'm ready to go. And the left lane, however, something completely different happened. I lined up on board 20 just like I did on the right lane. And everything about that shot, I liked it. But as you can see, the ball didn't necessarily grab like it did on the right lane. I got a very light hit, but, I got away with it. But I kept that in mind, like, what the heck was that about? I mean, looking at that shot, it did look like I might have missed in the oil, and that's why I didn't grab it, but I wasn't 100% sure. I felt like I liked the shot, so that's why I kind of couldn't tell. But here I go back on the right lane. Another nice one. and better shot. It didn't, hit light. It slapped into the pocket a lot harder than it did on the left lane. So I knew I had everything correct and ready to go on this right lane, but that left lane had me asking some questions like, what do I do? Am I doing the right thing? Because both the lanes were pretty fresh, and nobody was using urethane except for that lefty that you guys saw throwing the purple pearl. So if any of you have been keeping up with me on Instagram, you'll see that I've been really trying to put in the work and improve my form, because I've been, all those past weeks where I would fall off at the foul line, I would fall forward, I'd have so many issues with my timing and all that stuff. I was getting sick and tired of that, and like I said, yeah, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see that I've been putting in the work. I've been really practicing. I've been changing things. The first thing being that I've been talking about it so many times now, the thing with the left shoulder, how I try to bring it more to the inside to be more square at the foul line, to keep that shoulder parallel with the chin. It helped a lot. It unlocked a lot of things. And it definitely helped me post a lot more at the foul line. And when I started adding this and making sure that I was doing it in my approach, I had to work on how do I put this? I had to work on correcting a bunch of things, because a lot of things got all out of whack. Like my footwork needed to be corrected again, my swing needed to be corrected again, the timing, the swing, all of that, the backswing. Yeah, so many things needed to be corrected and brought back up to par because of this shoulder thing changing changing all the stuff up, and everything was all out of whack. So yeah, over the weeks I've been working on the swing, keeping it at the waist and not raising it up here and then bringing it back as I move through the approach. I've been working on cleaning up my footwork, keeping my steps closer together, keeping that hop step or whatever you want to call it. I've been keeping that close together, allowing myself enough space to really slide and be able to finish at the foul line. The timing between my footwork and my swing, been working on that. And not having a whole bunch of spine tilt as I'm getting closer to the foul line, because that definitely was a problem. And yeah, I mean, the results have really been showing. I mean, you guys have been seeing over the weeks how I've been posting a lot more at the foul line. The approach looks a lot cleaner, falling off a lot less. So I'm really, really happy with the results. See that? Brilliant. All brilliant. Let's actually take a look at that again. And I will say this. In practice, I felt like I had total control over everything. I felt good about everything. The changes were really happening. But I knew the true test was trying all this stuff out in league to see where I'm really at. And it's nice to see that it really showed. See, that first step, you can't really see it. But I kept it. I had a problem where my first step would get a lot more out there. And so I worked on not getting my first step way too far out, keeping it a little closer. See that? Keeping that next step a little closer. Keeping that, I think that's the third step, from getting too far out that way, keeping it close. See that? Keeping it at the waist, not letting it, I'm not sure if you guys can really see me, not letting it immediately come up here, that kind of like chicken wing type of thing. I think that's what they call it. Keeping it right at the waist. Not letting my supporting hand come off the ball. It still does, but I remember there was this problem where I would have my supporting hand on the ball. It would come off a lot and then relocate itself. So it still comes off, but it stays in the same position that it was where I had it from the beginning. Also, keeping those steps closer together allowed for me more time to be able to really spread out and then slide. And then that would help with this. Being able to finish like this. Because that was one thing I realized, is that my steps, the distance between all of my steps was too separated, and that would allow me less time to really slide and lean forward like this, and that's why I would fall off or look like I plant. And then, yeah, the trail arm looking good, the delivery looks good. I've been working on keeping my hand more behind the ball and less up the side of it. Knee bend is there. The trail leg isn't as high up as it was many months ago. It's now a lot lower because I'm keeping my shoulders up. Everything is great. I'm loving it. Leads to that. Fantastic stuff. Alright, so if I'm not mistaken, I do believe this might be the fourth frame, and I did make an adjustment because of those shots where the ball wasn't really picking up and hitting into the pocket. I moved to 19.5, and unfortunately that one, I did kind of lose my balance a little bit there. I felt like I stuck slightly, and that's why I immediately fell out of it, and also because I missed a little bit left. You can see there. The fact that I hit kind of high and those two pins fell last, and that's obviously evidence of that. Supporting evidence. Look at that. High hit. I think that's the 4 and the 9. And then my reaction says it all. Don't trip. Alright, here we go on the left lane. Off to a really great start with the new ball that I had not even used at all, not even in practice. Okay, right there, I actually stumbled. I stumbled in my steps right here. Right there, the hop step right there, I don't know why, I felt like I had tripped. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I felt like I stumbled and I felt like I was gonna trip and fall. So that led to me doing this. It was too late to turn back though. I couldn't stop myself, so I just let it go, and I ended up with the 2.810. That's one thing that I've always been afraid of, is tripping on my own 2 feet and then falling forward and into the lane. Alright, so on this shot, I don't believe I noticed it straight away, but check that out. The ball grabbed a little earlier, and it ended up doing that. And I will say, I can't remember exactly when I started noticing that the ball started grabbing a little earlier, but I will say this about the IQ Tour Nano Pro. I believe that that cover really likes to soak up the oil, because here we are getting close to the end of game 1, and already the ball is starting to create, like, the lanes are already starting to, like, have this friction down there, and is like really making the ball grab early. And keep in mind, all these other guys that we're bowling against, none of them are using, like anything in, like crazy, like urethane or anything. The only guy that is using urethane is that guy that you guys see right there with the purple polyurethane ball, and he's a lefty, so I know I don't have a problem. And none of the other guys are doing anything that would create friction spots down lane. So I truly believe that this IQ Tour Nano Pearl was creating all those spots with that make the ball grab early, because when the ball would come back to the ball return, I'd see a lot of track flare on the ball, a lot of oil. So, and then this cover being kind of dull, I believe that this ball was just soaking up the oil, especially because it was brand new out of the box. So. But this shot that I just took on the left lane is definitely going to show you much more clearly that ball is grabbing early. Look at this. See that? Right there. Grabbed going up right here. Right there. Grabbed and came back. And I should have left that 10, but luckily something was in the gutter, it tapped it, made it fall over. So it was with that shot on the left lane that was when I realized, like, wow, already the dry spots are happening down there already, and I'm gonna have to make some moves. So being that this was the end of the game and I had already put up a decent 200 game, I thought, well, let's go fishing, if you know what I mean, and see what we can get. So continuing with the IQ Tour Nano Pro, because obviously it was getting the strikes, I figured let's make some moves. So I can't remember if it was here that I decided to make some tests. Yeah, it was right there that I tried board 20, as I think I put it on the screen there, and I noticed that it went high, so I thought, okay, that's not enough of a move. So keeping in mind what happened on the left lane, how that ball grabbed pretty early, I thought, okay, well, I was on 19 when that shot, 19 and a half when I did that shot, so let's skip 20 and go to 20 and a half, considering what happened on the right lane. Even though the right and left were probably a bit different from each other in terms of the traffic. That one I got it left, that was a bad shot. But luckily for me, all I had to do was make this spare, and I had another shot to be able to go fishing here to see what I could do, so that way I could be properly prepared for the next game. So there I went, trying 20 and a half, because I made a bad shot the first time, and that was better. But as you could see, still a lot, a lot of hooks. So I knew, okay, I have an idea now of what I need to do for the next game. I was almost there, but I knew it wasn't enough of a move. Alright, so after the ball went through the nose, here we went for the second game on the left lane, and I decided to try 21.5. Better, but I still went through the nose, and I left an ugly split. Luckily, I wasn't too worried about this split because I know exactly where to stand and what to do. So I did it, and I got it. But I was thinking, like, okay, even though it was like split second, what those pins did, that right there, had me thinking, oh God, I'm going to wrap around the 7. But luckily, it bounced off and hit it. Alright, now after seeing what happened on the left lane, even though the left and right are different from each other, I still felt like I should make whatever move I'm going to make on the left and try it on the right, if that makes any sense. So I tried 22.5, made the shots, got a messenger, took out the 10, but I kept in mind, even though the 10 went down, I still left the 10. So I thought, okay, something still needs to be done here, something differently. So get this, okay, that 10 pin that I left, even though the messenger took it out, I kept in mind, I still left a 10. I was lucky that a messenger came and took it out. I made the move to 22, I think, because I was afraid that would be too far left of a move that I would leave a 10. So I moved to 22, threw the shot, stood up because I thought the speed was too slow. But then I saw that and I thought, okay, never mind, it's all good. So then I thought to myself, okay, so that's exactly what I'm going to do on this right lane. I'm going to try 22 after I was on 22.5, after that 10 pin that got taken out by the messenger. Threw my shot. Shot didn't feel 100%. What I mean by that is like the release, it didn't feel 100%, so the shot looked good, but the release was not. So it kind of makes sense as to why that happened. Yeah, right there, I missed my 10 pin. I was hoping that the ball would grab just a little and hook a little bit, but it didn't, and I ended up with an open. Alright, so here we go back on the left in the 5th frame. And I missed left. And it was this shot that basically was the decision for me to make a change when I stepped up on the right lane, because I started to feel up here in my mind that you're struggling and you're probably going to start to not be able to execute just because you have this ball in your hand. So I thought maybe I just need a new ball, and I'm going to move to a different part of the lane and, you know, basically just to refresh my mind. So in order to prevent from struggling any further, even though I did have a couple of strikes, I decided to pick up the Axiom Pearl, move a few boards to the left, 24 to be exact. And we were right back on track. So the reason I decided to pick up the Axiom Pearl and move a little bit to the left was because I knew playing on that line there was oil, and that space, that path where I was throwing the IQ Tornado Pearl was around here. So I knew that the early grab spots were there, and I knew I didn't have to worry about any early grab spots because nobody was playing around this area here where I was throwing the Axiom Pearl. So I had some oil there. See that? That proves it. I didn't get the ball to the right enough. I missed kind of left, and it helped. Okay, this shot right here, even though it looks pretty good, for me, it felt like bad form and release when I was, you know, when I was actually doing that. Like, in that moment, it felt like my form was pretty bad, and I felt like my release wasn't good. Even though it looks good on the camera, as you see here. And then seeing that 7-10, I thought, you know what, I don't like this. I just felt like already I was losing my ability to be able to execute with this ball, and I don't know why. Yeah, I hate that my time with this Axiom Pearl didn't last long on this night. I mean, already I felt like I was going to start missing left or missing too far to the right, so... But I gave it another shot on this left lane. This one was going to be the decider for me, whether I should stick with this ball or not. And then the ball grabbed kind of late, but because of a bad shot on my part, you couldn't really see it because that guy was in the way, but I could see that I went past my target. I didn't lead into it the right way. I got the ball like over here, and that led to late hook, and I thought, I don't want to see that again, so maybe I should just switch. And I know that's probably not the best move, but for me, in order to get out of that struggle, I switch balls. That's just how I do things. And I know some of you don't like that. I know some of you are probably just going to say, well, just, like, adjust, get that out of your mind and just find your path and try to execute. But since we were already on the 10th frame and I felt like it wasn't worth the risk to pick up the Axiom Pearl because I knew I needed to strike out to get another 200 game. I felt my chances were better with the pitch black. You guys know about that one. It always bails me out. So I know it seems kind of like a gutsy call to switch balls in the 10th, but this pitch black always bails me out. And for that, I stood on 15 and a half, and I went Brooklyn, and I totally forgot about the friction spots and created by that IQ Tornado Pearl. So I knew from that. I actually thought of something here. That last week where I shot 590, I think is what it was, I was using the Zen Master on the left lane, and I threw the ball on the path that I wanted, and the ball hooked a lot and went through the nose. And my friend Mike Romero, who was on the pair next to us, he asked me, did you like that shot? And I told him, yes, I liked everything about it, but it did something differently down lane. And that's when he told me, okay, that means you need to move. So he told me, move 2 boards to the left from where you were standing. So I thought, okay, well, I liked this shot, but you guys saw it curved a lot and went Brooklyn. So I thought, I'm going to use that tip again that he gave me. I'm going to move 2 left. So that's what I did. I was on 15, so I moved to 17. So here I am, making the move to 17. Threw my shot. And there it was. I hit the pocket and I struck. And after that shot, I thought, okay, I've got my strategy for game 3. We're going to use the pitch black, and we're going to stand on 17 on both the left and the right lane. So I threw my next shot, and I was 100% comfortable. I felt relieved because I knew I got my 200 game. I think I needed 8 pins to secure 200. And I got it. I got kind of lucky there because you guys saw that was kind of a light hit. And I think, yeah, for that last shot, I got too far to the left. I threw it too far to the right, and I also accidentally got too much up the side of the ball. But luckily, it did kind of what it needed to do, and I got kind of lucky there. But here we go for game 3, continuing on the right lane, board 17. Better. Much better shot than the last one, that's for sure. Now, although that shot that I just threw on that right lane wasn't 100%, I still felt like I was, that feeling like I was locked in. So I tried that same thing on this left lane, board number 17. I dropped the ball, but I ended up getting that result. So yeah, I felt 100% certain that this is where I was going to be throughout this third game, on board 17 for both the left and the right, as long as I continue making shots like that. And I had a lot of misroom, because that one was actually straight up the boards. I didn't feed it to the right and use that friction to get the ball to curve. So I knew I could definitely score high here, considering the fact that I had a lot of misroom down lane. And even if I still felt like I needed to be careful, though. I cannot throw shots like that where I send them straight up here in between the second and third arrow, because that's exactly what that shot on the right was. It was straight up here. Luckily, it curved a little bit and it hit into the pocket, and I was very lucky that I did not leave a 10, because I feel like that shot was set up to leave a 10. And I do believe this shot was literally a carbon copy of that. Actually, it was not. That's the shot I was actually looking for. Perfect. See that? Feed it to the right, use that friction, get the ball to curve, and we got ourselves a proper strike. Halfway through this game already, or at least getting halfway. Ah, man. I kind of knew that was going to happen because of the way... Okay, like when it got down here, seeing how much time I gave it to like line up to the pocket, I felt like I knew that was going to happen. But I was just hoping for the best. And unfortunately, the 10 pin just decided to say, nope, not today. Luckily, I didn't miss my 10 pin that time. All right, here we go on the 6th frame. We are now indeed halfway through this last game. And unfortunately, my hand was very sweaty right there. That's why I backed off. Because I do not trust myself after what happened in the Summer League. I'm not sure if any of you remember that. I was like on the front 5 or the front 6, and my hand was extremely sweaty, but I thought to myself, nah, it's all good, don't worry about it. But then the ball ended up slipping from my hand because my hand was too sweaty. So that right there, I backed off because my hand was feeling sweaty and I wasn't going to take any chances. But here I go, 6th frame, still on board 17. No need to make any moves. Fantastic shot right there. That one was definitely behind the ball, that release. Watch, let me show you guys this release. I've been working on that. See that? Right behind the ball. As it should be. Right behind the ball. Perfect stuff. That's what I like to see. All right, next shot on the right. And I do believe that this one might have gone high. And it did, yeah. But once again, I didn't trust myself, so I curved at it. I didn't pick up my spare ball. All right, here we go. 8th frame, getting closer to the end. Stuck. But I still got it. All right, 9th frame. Left of target a little bit. Held and went high. All right, last frame of this week. Dropped it. And I left the 10. Ouch. But I wasn't feeling too worried because I looked up at the scoreboard and saw that I had another 200 game in the cards. So it's all good, even if I did miss this. But I didn't want to miss. I wanted to keep it going. All right, last shot of the night. Much better. Much better. That's how you finish. Okay, everybody, here we go with the summary for week number 32. So, game 1, we got a really nice 230 with a new ball that was like fresh off the press, the IQ Tornado Pearl. Game number 2 was a little bit of a struggle because the friction came out of nowhere and I had to make adjustments, and I will admit that I didn't really adjust too well. It took me quite a while to figure that out, and I ended up making some ball changes as well. And I ended up with the 201. Luckily, the pitch blackmailed me out in the 10th frame. And then game 3, I scored a 238 using nothing but that pitch black, standing in the same spot throughout the whole thing. So we managed to get a 669 series, which made up for last week's series being 590. The series required to raise my average was 633, and I did that, thank God. And now my pin total after week 32 was 19,716. After 96 games played, that puts me back at 205, at a 205 average. After going down a point last week, thanks to that 590, I was 204. And now the highest game remains unchanged, and that's how it's going to stay. 279 from week 15, and then the 696 series that I got from week number 16. So no 700 series unless I could do something in that last week. That won't count. But I'll still go ahead and add it to this right here that you guys see, even though it won't count, because I still want to see how I finish out this whole thing. So anyway, that does it for week number 32. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And then I will have quite a bit to say about in the next week, because I know I did say that I promised you guys an answer on what is going to happen with these league videos, because throughout the weeks, I know a lot of you have been hoping that I continue with this and that I reconsider. And A part of me has been thinking about changing my mind on it, but another part of me is thinking, nah, don't do it. But yeah, I don't know. But anyway, like I said, I promised you guys that I would have an answer for you at the end of this, and since we still have that one more week, which is sweepers, I will have an answer for you guys next week on what I decide to do. So that was week number 33. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. Did I accidentally say week 32? I don't know. But anyway, yeah. That's done. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you guys in the very last week, which is sweepers. So I will see you guys then. Peace.